April 29, 2017, Netflix headquarters, Los Gatos, California. An executive opens an email with no subject line. The message is simple. We have Orange is the new Black Season 5. Pay us, or the world gets it first. Attached are 3 unreleased episodes, pristine quality. Production codes visible, no watermarks removed. This isn't a leak, it's a ransom. The sender, a group calling themselves the Dark Overlord. And Netflix isn't their first victim, or their worst. For 2 years, the Dark Overlord has been terrorizing a different kind of target. Not banks, not governments, instead people. They hack plastic surgery clinics and steal before and after photos. They breach therapy offices and take session notes. They infiltrate hospitals and download medical diagnoses. Then they send individual emails. Pay $50,000 in Bitcoin, or we publish everything. Your secrets, your procedures, your mental health history, your most embarrassing moments posted online, searchable, permanent. Over 50 organizations breached, hundreds of individuals blackmailed, millions of stolen records. And despite FBI investigations, Interpol alerts, and international manhunts, the Dark Overlord was never caught. This is the story of the hacking group that weaponized shame, that held Netflix hostage, that leaked classified 9/11 insurance documents, and then vanished into the internet like they never existed. How do you blackmail the most vulnerable people on Earth? And how do you disappear after making that many enemies? Welcome to Covert Case Histories. In 2016, the cybercrime landscape is changing. Ransomware gangs like WannaCry and NotPetya are making headlines by locking computers and demanding payment. But one group sees a different opportunity. Why encrypt files when you can threaten to expose them? The Dark Overlord appears on underground forums in mid-2016. No fancy manifesto. No political cause. Just a simple business model. Find embarrassing data. Steal it. Sell it back to the victims. Their first known target? A small plastic surgery clinic in Missouri. The clinic's patient database contained thousands of before and after photos. Nose jobs, breast augmentations, liposuction, procedures people paid to keep private. The Dark Overlord breaches the clinic's network through a simple phishing email sent to the receptionist. One click, the malware installs. Within 48 hours, they've downloaded 25,000 patient files. Then come the emails. Individual patients receive messages with preview images of their own procedures. The demand, $50,000 in Bitcoin, or the photos go public. If victims refuse, the Dark Overlord posts samples on data breach forums as proof. Names, addresses, procedures, everything. The clinic panics, calls the FBI. But the Dark Overlord is already moving to the next target. 2016 to 2017, the attacks accelerate. Dermatology offices, dental clinics, mental health practices. The Dark Overlord isn't looking for credit card numbers or social security details. They're hunting for shame, the kind of information people would pay anything to keep hidden. And it works, because unlike stolen credit cards, which can be canceled, you can't cancel someone knowing your secrets. By early 2017, the Dark Overlord has perfected their playbook, but they're about to aim at a much bigger target. By mid-January 2017, a small psychotherapy center in Georgia receives a ransom demand. The Dark Overlord has breached their patient database and stolen session notes, diagnoses, and treatment records. This isn't medical billing data. These are therapy transcripts, depression diagnoses, trauma histories, addiction struggles, suicidal ideation notes, abuse disclosures. The most private thoughts patients shared, believing they were protected by doctor-patient confidentiality. The demand? $100,000 or the files go public? The clinic refuses, calls law enforcement, notifies patients. The Dark Overlord responds by publishing the first batch of records online, names included, searchable, indexed by Google within hours, patients whose PTSD diagnoses are now public, whose addiction histories can be found by employers, whose mental health struggles are exposed to family members who didn't know. Lives destroyed not by the hack itself, but by what the hack revealed. The FBI opens an investigation, but the Dark Overlord operates through encrypted channels, Bitcoin wallets, and offshore servers. Every communication is routed through VPNs spanning multiple countries. No real names, no traceable locations, just a PGP encrypted email address and a Bitcoin wallet. Victim number 2, a cosmetic surgery center in Texas. The Dark Overlord steals records of gender reassignment surgeries, weight loss procedures, and facial reconstructions. Patients who hadn't told their families. Procedures people went across state lines to keep secret. The ransom? $300,000. The center pays. The Dark Overlord releases the files anyway. That's when everyone realizes paying doesn't guarantee safety. The Dark Overlord isn't running a business. They're running a terror campaign, and they're just getting started. April 2017. The Dark Overlord pivots. Healthcare records are profitable, but entertainment companies have something even more valuable: unreleased content. They breach Larson Studios, a post-production company in Los Angeles that handles editing and audio for major studios. Through the breach, the Dark Overlord gains access to unreleased episodes of multiple shows, including Netflix's hit series Orange is the New Black. Season 5 is scheduled to premiere in June. The Dark Overlord has all 13 episodes in late April. April 29, 2017. The ransom email arrives at Netflix. Demand: undisclosed amount in Bitcoin. Deadline: 48 hours. Netflix refuses. They notify the FBI, release a public statement saying they won't negotiate with criminals. The Dark Overlord's response is immediate. They upload Episode 1 to the Pirate Bay, then Episode 2, then all remaining episodes. Millions of downloads within 24 hours. Netflix's biggest show of the year just became free entertainment. The media explodes. Hackers ruin Netflix season. Dark Overlord leaks. Orange is the New Black. But the real story isn't the leaked show, it's the message. No one is safe. Not therapy patients, not entertainment giants. No amount of money or security can stop us. The Dark Overlord posts on Twitter, Netflix knew what we were capable of. They chose not to pay. So did their viewers get a free show? You're welcome. The FBI intensifies the investigation. Cybersecurity firms analyze the breach, but the Dark Overlord has already moved on to their next and most controversial target. December 2018. The Dark Overlord announces something that shocks even the cybersecurity world. They claim to have breached multiple insurance companies and law firms involved in 9/11 litigation. The stolen files? Confidential documents related to insurance claims, legal proceedings, and investigations into the September 11th attacks. Conspiracy theorists immediately erupt. They have proof the government lied. They have classified files about what really happened. The Dark Overlord knows exactly what they're doing. They're not just blackmailing companies, they're weaponizing public curiosity. They post samples of the documents online, legal memos, insurance assessments, settlement agreements. Nothing classified, nothing revealing government conspiracies. But the conspiracy community doesn't care. The Dark Overlord has created a market. They crowdfund the release, pay Bitcoin, unlock layers of documents. Layer 1, $12,000. Layer 2, $25,000. Layer 3, $50,000. Like a twisted Kickstarter campaign. Thousands donate. Conspiracy forums raise money. The Dark Overlord releases documents in waves. Insurance companies panic. Law firms threaten legal action. The FBI adds charges: theft of sensitive documents, extortion, and potential national security violations. But the files reveal nothing sensational. No smoking guns. No proof of inside jobs. Just mundane legal paperwork that conspiracy theorists misinterpret as evidence. The Dark Overlord laughs publicly. They never cared about 9/11 truth. They just found another way to monetize stolen data by exploiting public paranoia. And they're still free. By 2019, the Dark Overlord has breached over 50 organizations. Their targets read like a nightmare: plastic surgery clinics, mental health therapy centers, orthodontic offices, school districts, student records, small production companies, law firms. Each breach follows the same pattern: phishing emails to low-level employees, malware installs, credentials stolen, networks compromised, data exfiltrated, then the ransom demands. But the Dark Overlord's true cruelty isn't the institutional hacks, it's the individual blackmail. Unlike ransomware gangs that target companies, the Dark Overlord sends personal messages to individual patients, students, and clients. We have your therapy notes, pay $50,000 or your employer sees them. We have your cosmetic procedure photos, pay $30,000 or they're on Twitter. Many victims pay, thousands of dollars drained from bank accounts to protect secrets. But paying doesn't guarantee silence. Some victims pay and still see their information leaked. Others refuse and have their lives destroyed. One victim, a therapy patient whose session notes were published, later told investigators, "They didn't just steal my data. They stole my ability to trust anyone ever again." The FBI estimates hundreds of individuals were directly extorted. Total financial damage: over $5 million. Emotional damage: incalculable. But despite years of investigation, the FBI has no arrests, no suspects, no clear leads. The Dark Overlord operates like ghosts. And in 2019, those ghosts vanish entirely. The FBI's investigation into the Dark Overlord is one of the most frustrating in cybercrime history. They have victims. They have ransom demands. They have stolen files. What they don't have is suspects. Every communication is encrypted. Every payment is Bitcoin, mixed through tumblers and decentralized exchanges. Every IP address traces back to VPN servers in countries that don't cooperate with US law enforcement. Cybersecurity firms analyze the malware. It's sophisticated, but not unique. The tactics are effective, but not groundbreaking. The Dark Overlord isn't using zero-day exploits or nation-state tools. They're using social engineering, patience, and psychological warfare. Analysts believe the Dark Overlord is a small group, maybe 2 to 4 people, possibly based in Eastern Europe or Russia, possibly English-speaking natives with technical skills, possibly young. The tone of their messages suggests millennial or Gen Z hackers who grew up on internet culture, but possibly doesn't lead to arrests. The FBI traces Bitcoin wallets, dead ends. They monitor underground forums. The Dark Overlord doesn't brag. They infiltrate the group's communication channels, encrypted and abandoned. One theory: the Dark Overlord dissolved voluntarily. They made enough money to retire, or they got spooked by the FBI investigation and went dark before they could be caught. Another theory: they rebranded, changed their name, started operating under a new identity with a lower profile. A third theory: they're still out there, just quieter, still breaching, still extorting, just not making headlines. No one knows for sure, because in 2019, the Dark Overlord stops posting entirely. Late 2019, The Dark Overlord's Twitter account goes silent. Their email address stops responding. Their Bitcoin wallets show no new transactions. Underground forums report no new leaks or demands. It's like they never existed. Victims are left with stolen data still circulating online. Companies are left with breached networks and legal liabilities. The FBI is left with an open investigation and no suspects, 2020 to 2025. Occasional rumors surface. The Dark Overlord is back. They hit a new target, but none are confirmed. Cybersecurity researchers analyze similar attacks and find no evidence of the Dark Overlord's signature methods. Did they retire? Get arrested under different charges? No one knows. What we do know, they breached 50+ organizations. They blackmailed hundreds of individuals. They stole millions of records. They were never identified. They were never arrested. They are still free. The Dark Overlord's legacy isn't just the data they stole, it's what they proved. Your secrets are more valuable than your money. Credit card theft can be fixed. Identity theft can be recovered from. But having your therapy notes published online, your cosmetic surgery photos leaked, your mental health diagnoses exposed, that damage is permanent. The Dark Overlord weaponized shame in a way no other cybercriminal group had before. They understood that people will pay to protect their privacy, not because they're hiding crimes, but because they're human. And they got away with it. Today, 2025. The Dark Overlord's identity, unknown. Their location, unknown. Their fate, unknown. Their victims, still suffering. Healthcare organizations now face stricter security requirements. But the damage is done. Thousands of people live with their most private information permanently searchable online. The Dark Overlord didn't just steal data, they stole dignity. And then they vanished into the digital void, leaving behind only questions and broken trust. Somewhere out there, the people behind the Dark Overlord are living free. Maybe they're counting their Bitcoin. Maybe they're planning the next attack. Maybe they're just ordinary people walking past you on the street carrying the secrets they stole. You can blackmail Netflix. You can leak 9/11 files. You can destroy hundreds of lives. And if you're careful enough, you'll never face consequences. The Dark Overlord proved it. And that's the scariest part of all. If this story made you think twice about what you share online, hit like and subscribe to Covert Case Histories for more stories of the criminals who operate in the shadows. Next up, the hacker who outsmarted the NSA and is still posting his next targets online. You won't want to miss it. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay informed, and remember, in the digital age, your secrets are never as safe as you think.